Drew, what are your first thoughts of Kerry drawing with Donegal here at Croke Park?
I suppose as the game went on, it probably ended in a fair result, but with about 10-15 minutes to go, it just seemed like it was going to be a shootout. Clifford probably didn't have as good as day as he could, but that's maybe some good marking from McMenamin. But Stephen O'Brien was very good, and then even at the end there, the young lad that came on for Donegal, Ocean Gallen, some of the kick scores he got, and even some of the passes he picked out was good.
Yeah, so both forward lines, huge amount of stars in them. David Clifford, Gainey, Stephen O'Brien, Sean O'Shea, etc. The other side, McBearty, Jamie Brennan probably didn't have his greatest game. Michael Murphy as well. How tough is it, at Croke Park or on big days, to nail down these forwards?
It's tough, yeah. And I've unfortunately this year not get to mark too many of them, but in previous years I've marked a few of them. But it is tough. But I suppose you're depending on the help of other players around you. And look at Michael Murphy the other day; he was immense again. He's up there. I'd say he's in contention for Player of the Year. Some of the unselfish runs he makes, and getting back, getting blocks, and then you see him up the other end kicking scores. But it's you look at defenders there today. Some of them are good days, and some days you've bad days. But a lot of it depends on the help around you.
And when you're marking Michael Murphy, what is it that you're up against there? Is it complete power, quality, skill, just all round brilliant?
I think I've only marked Michael Murphy maybe once in a league game. It was usually left to Vinnie Curry to do the job on him, but he's a massive man, and he's real powerful and skillful as well, and he seems to have it all.
And did you think that some of the Kerry forwards were a little bit off colour today? Stephen O'Brien very good, Paul Gainey very good. Clifford got 2 points for finish, but McMenamin did do very well on him up until a couple of scores later on.
Yeah, I thought McMenamin done well on him, but I think it was the last score Kerry got. All they done, he actually drew 2 or 3 men to him. He popped it out to, I'm not sure, was it Sean O'Shea that got the last score?
I think it was.
Yeah. So Paul Murphy. He drew the couple of men, and it was popped out to Murphy, and it was over the bar. But I thought Paul Gainey was good, and the way it finished the draw, it goes down to the last day.
And have you seen enough from either of these teams compared with Dublin, annihilating Roscommon? Have you seen anything to suggest that either of these teams could topple them?
It's hard to call. Every day is different. You go out, conditions probably played a part out there. Ball was slippy and everything else. And that if Dublin were playing them, you wouldn't know how the game would turn out. But you wouldn't know. Donegal probably suffering from a lot of injuries there now. Owen Gallagher is a massive loss for them. Even though we're missing Neil McGee there today, so maybe Kerry here. It's hard to call.
Yeah, and you've gone through the Super 8s last year, and the heavy schedule that it is. You see Donegal with injuries during the week. Now it could be just a pure fluke that they had a few injuries all in the one go, and of course Jason McGee had to come off, seemed to have a hamstring injury as well. How tough is it on you physically to get through this period of the Super 8s?
It's massive. It's really tough. Boys, I suppose the next weekend off, which gives them an extra few days, but going from week to week, straight after the game, you're looking to get that recovery in, you're getting the hydration in, food in, but it's tough on the bodies. But you get when you get back to training on the Tuesday or Wednesday night, once you're out in the field for 5 or 10 minutes, the soreness just goes away, and you're really looking forward to the next day out. It's like a drug. It's addictive, just getting back at it.
So you're obviously looking in at the moment and just thinking, I wish we were out in the middle of that, and I wish the body was being pushed to the limit.
Yeah. Last weekend, I'm not sure it was. I think it was Dublin coming around down to Croke Park, watching it on TV. But the entrance music, it got to me, and it just says, it would be great to be back there. But that's it. That's football. You have to take your wins, take your losses, and go on about it.
So looking forward to this weekend's game, Donegal against Mayo as well. It's all to play for there as well.
Yeah, I seen it's all to play for. It's a away match for Donegal, you know. Mayo mightn't have a great record in Castlebar, but it's a way. It's all to play for, winner takes all type thing. So.
And who do you think is more built for? I suppose it is in Castlebar. It's hard to say. Well, obviously Mayo are built for playing at home as well. But do you think that the injuries might catch up with Donegal? Like Mayo have had a few players out as well, Malachy O'Rourke and Diarmuid O'Connor.
Yeah, well, you look at Donegal there today. They had maybe 3 or 4 changes at the start, and you know it didn't seem to faze them. Yeah. You know that maybe that's a sign of the strength within their squad. They were able to. There were still a couple of the lads that came in. They were fit to gel together, and you know, nobody looked out of place out there.
Yeah, as well. Like, do you think that having those quality forwards, even if they aren't all sparking at the moment, like McBrearty as well? So you were saying you thought he was injured there towards the end. Jamie Brennan probably not firing full guns. Do you think that like you can turn it around in the space of a couple of weeks and get going?
Oh, you can. Like, you know, you look at you're probably saying maybe Jamie Brennan wasn't as lively as he was in other games, but you know, the next day out he could turn around and kick 1-4. You know, you just can't. There's forwards there with just pure quality, and you just can't take your eye off them. But it's all to play for the next day, I think.
You'd imagine Kerry are going to beat Meath, so that will put them top of the group, and then Dublin more or less they're going to finish top of their group. So then playing the winner of Donegal against Mayo as well, like that'd be fairly mouth-watering.
Yeah, probably. Like you know, but we heard the same sort of stories last year. Or Galway, they're not going to put out a strong team, this, that, and the other. But you know, no team goes out to half-hearted during the game. Like you're going for it, and that's just it. Like, you know, so I'd say nobody will be taking their eye off and thinking, oh, we don't want to play Dublin, we don't want to play Tyrone. It's such that it's just whoever comes.
And on the other side, there's obviously the dead rubber. But do you think Dublin and Cork? Do you think they'll go? Sorry, Dublin and Tyrone. Do you think they'll put out sort of half teams, 3/4 teams as well?
No, I don't believe in that sort of crack of putting out dead rubber games half. Like, you know, how does a manager? Even though it's totally disrespectful to the players that you're putting in. You know, they're obviously trying to play for places and everything else. So I wouldn't really call it a dead rubber. I'd say both teams are going to go to hell for ladder for it in Healy Park. You know, I'd say there'll be a massive atmosphere at that sort of game.
Just to reflect on your year with Monaghan as well, what comes to mind when you think about it? You know, you're obviously not here at the Super 8 stage.
What comes to mind, I suppose, playing Kerry, Clonus last year was one, and then even Salt Hill and Galway last year had 2 massive games. But the atmosphere and I suppose the buzz and the kick we got out of it, was unbelievable. And
like, why did you come up a little bit shorter this year, do you reckon?
It's just hard to put a finger on it. You know, we did. Probably the league campaign wasn't great for ourselves, and we thought, right, we'll get back at it. And you know, Cavan turned us over the first day of the championship, but it was just felt hard. The harder we tried to get that spark within the squad, but you know, I can't. Our training was good. We had some real competitive matches against ourselves, A's against B's, and you know, it was just hard to put a finger on it.
But it doesn't like feel to you like a blip season, I suppose, more so than this is any sign that things are in any sort of decline, is it?
Yeah, no, I just say it's a blip season because if you look through the squad, like there's massive, we've serious quality there and talent within the squad. You know, young and old. Like, you know, look at Conor McManus, he's only 31, I think he is. Then you look even with some of the younger boys there as well. Like, you know, you have Rory Beggan, Ryan the brother, Conor Boyle, Niall Cairns, Desi Ward, Conor McCarthy, Shane Carey. You know, there's still loads of youth within that. Them lads are all 23, 24, 25. You know, they're still only coming. They haven't even hit their prime yet. You know, so I think there's a good squad there.
When you reflect on Malachy O'Rourke's time with the team, what comes to mind? I mean, he obviously had a fantastic spell with you.
Yeah, I have nothing. Some serious respect for Malachy, what he's done for myself personally, and then even what he's done for Monaghan football. Like, you know, like some of the days out we got, it was unbelievable. I suppose what we got 5 quarter-finals out of 7 years, like, you know, and then a semi-final as well, 2 Ulster titles. You know, obviously there was other. We would have wished we had a couple more Ulster titles, but we just fell short again in a couple of days out.
And what would he have done in terms of developing you as a footballer? Was he crucial for you?
Yeah, he was good for me too. Yeah, but I suppose he instilled a bit of confidence into myself. Like, you know, I would have maybe if a forward had scored a point or two on me, I would have been eating myself up. But he was there, just backed me and just saying, you know, forwards at county level are going to maybe get a score or two on you, so just brush it to a side and get on with your game.
And how important is it to make sure you get the right man as manager next?
Yeah, I suppose it's important for Monaghan football, but you look at, we've a good, I know the under-20s we're unlucky, didn't get through the first round this year and stuff, but you look, we've an under-17 team that's after doing the double, you know, and there's a good youth platform there for young fellas coming through, so it's important we get a good manager in and somebody that's going to maybe take us another step further.
And then just a final thing on playing in the full back line, Gaelic football, how tough is that? Because, you know, you're so close to goal, one mistake and it probably is a goal against forwards at this level. Like, how tough is that position?
It's very tough, yeah, but as I said earlier, you're depending a lot on help out the field, pressure on the ball coming in, and obviously you're trying to get there that prime possession, but you know, I'll not like I have had some very tough days out there on the full back line and got turned over and got a roasting, but you know, it's how you respond to them there, you know, and being tough mentally and being able to turn yourself around and go back at it again.
And if you were to pick an All-Ireland winner from here?
I suppose it's hard to look by Dublin, but I had sort of fancied Donegal. I suppose with their injuries and everything. See, Dublin haven't played Donegal this year with Division 2 football and everything, so maybe catch them by surprise or something on the day. But it's with the injuries and everything Donegal have, it could be up against them.
Cheers. Thanks for